Hey everyone, it's Ross, and today we're going to be doing some pruning of fig trees. This is not going to be the big pruning where I teach you guys all about pruning these guys. This is going to be really short and simple. The reason why we're doing the pruning now, and some of the pruning now, is because a pretty good frost is going to come in this weekend. Much colder temperatures than we've been getting. We have had some frost, and you can see what that looks like here on the leaves of this particular fig. This is about it. There's very few trees in my yard. There's one in the front and this one here that have actually got hit with a frost, and this is what it looks like, so you know. And I would imagine that even though most of my trees are now dropping their leaves, you can see that kind of here on the Ronde Bordeaux, they're yellowing up, they're turning, they got these spots on them. You know, they're falling off very soon. And even though the rest of these haven't got hit with a frost, let me increase the brightness here, at least a lot of them have been losing their leaves and falling off. So we're on our way to basically having completely defoliated trees. You know, natural process of what these trees do here. But I want to show you guys something real quick with this tree that got hit with the frost, because all the trees are going to get hit with the frost. And I don't know exactly what temperature the wood will get damaged, right? Because the leaves look pretty horrible, you know? So that's not a huge deal, but if the wood is damaged, I can't do anything with it. It won't make a good cutting. I can't propagate it. So before that happens, before a major frost comes in, I want to make sure that I'm coming in here and pruning off any of the growth that I want. Now this is Taramo Unknown. It's a good fig, but it's not something that I'm going to be obsessed over. If it is something that I really value, or if it's in a container, I've decided, and I did a video on this, we're moving them into the greenhouse. So I moved a lot of figs in the greenhouse either for fruiting purposes or to protect them from a frost, and that's exactly what we did in here. You can see a lot of trees. It's quite humid in here. It's very hot in here. This humidity is actually quite bad for ripening figs, but it is what it is. At least these guys are getting protected from the frost. We're also making sure that they are getting hit with cooler temperatures. I think the camera just fogged up. But let me bring you guys over to the actual tree that we're going to do the pruning on, because this is a tree, Italian 258, that I actually want to propagate, or actually want to preserve as many cuttings from as I can before this frost comes in. There's a lot of you who have been requesting this. I also may want to propagate this one for myself. So I'm basically going around to very select trees that I can't necessarily move in the greenhouse. Or maybe I don't have a place like this, and we're going to prune this growth down to essentially make this into something usable. And you can see here the growth is quite green. As you go further down, it starts to lignify much more until it's actually quite lignified down here. Now, again, this really will make a nice cutting. It's not a waste, even though some of this growth may not be fully lignified. This stuff up here is it's actually still a bit soft, so this is not really useful to me. We're going to cut that off. That's completely useless. But this stuff down here probably will make a nice cutting, and say I wanted to root this right now, I could. The more lignified stuff will obviously store better, last longer in the fridge, and that's some stuff I could potentially sell. But the stuff up here, the stuff that's really not lignified at all, but it is hard, I could certainly make use of that and start rooting that immediately. So that's what I'm getting at today, guys, is that we're going to go around to pruning some of these trees, but only very select few that has very unlignified growth, and trying to salvage what we can before that frost comes in. I do not know at what temperature these branches will get damaged. That is a really tough question to answer, and I think we need to do some kind of scientific testing to know for sure. You know, I would imagine that if a hard freeze comes in, most unlignified growth, at least the soft stuff that I just cut off, is gonna die. It's certainly gonna get damaged. It's not gonna look good. This is not what we want. In terms of this stuff getting damaged, it may take a little bit more for that to happen, so maybe I'll leave this on here, some of this, and help it lignify as time goes on, and then when I do my pruning in about 2 weeks from now, my full final pruning, then these guys will be a slightly more lignified. I'm not sure, but it's a great idea on varieties that you value and want to propagate or want to sell to do this now before they get damaged. And one last thing we have down here is my bread bags that I got at the store, plus a Sharpie. This is how I'm labeling them. So this is what we ended up with, guys. Just 2 cuttings off of this Italian 258 tree. And again, I'm only doing this to trees that I definitely value and want to propagate now. Noir de Barbentane's probably another one. You can see right next to it, the growth on this tree is quite green at this point. So I could, if I wanted to, definitely chop this down, propagate it right now. But the rest of this on the Italian 258 tree is pretty much lignified or gonna get there and won't get damaged by this upcoming frost that we're gonna get. So this stuff here will be all right. I can sell this and feel good about it. Whereas this stuff down here, again, we wanted to take this off, root it now, protect it from the frost. And that's about it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this winterization series. Again, this was Ross. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care.